electric bikes are a way of life in New York, whether it's for delivery workers or just to get around. And now the City Council is proposing a series of bills to improve regulations.
We have to figure out how to safely charge. We have to figure out how to safely store. We have to figure out how to make sure that people are able to operate for their work or pleasure.
And here's why. So far this year, the FDNY says there's been more than 220 fires caused by lithium-ion batteries. These fires have claimed 14 lives, caused more than 120 injuries. FDNY Commissioner Laura Kavanagh on a mission now to prevent more fires, save lives. She's joining us this morning to discuss how. So, Commissioner, good to have you here this morning.
Thanks for having me.
And before we get to the e-bike battery story, because that is so important, we do want to talk about the news of the day, which was that fire over at Grand Central. I know that it's still early in the investigation, but any cause yet of what exactly sparked this?
It is under investigation, like you mentioned, but we do know that there was quite a bit of fire deep into the tunnel, so a few hundred feet in, and that caused a significant smoke condition, also caused, a huge, complicated, dangerous operation for the fire department. Luckily, it is out at this time. I know there's still, for morning commuters, that may not be of comfort because it's certainly caused some delays, but it is out, and it was a very complicated operation. Hopefully, we'll know the cause soon.
Yeah, and we heard that one firefighter suffered minor injuries. What's the condition?
Yeah, he is fine,
Okay.
thankfully. But something like this, as you can imagine, subterranean, many hundreds of feet in, incredibly complicated operation. But luckily, everyone's okay, and hopefully, trains will be running smoothly soon.
Yeah, we had the chief this morning talking about how it was quite the extensive hose operation just to get down there with the water.
Yeah.
Commissioner, let's talk to you about the number of e-bike fires, because that is something that is you're laser focused on. It has really surpassed the total number of fires reported in all of 2022.
Yeah.
So is it people are careless about them? Are they illegal batteries? Is it a combo of everything?
It's a combo. I would say, most of all, what we're seeing is people assume when they purchase something in either a brick and mortar store or online, especially, that something's safe. And most of these batteries haven't been to this point. Luckily, working with the mayor and the city council, we've passed these laws that have now banned that, and we're going to start to see the effects of it. But unfortunately, we've gone all of this time with these manufacturers shipping unsafe devices into the city. So they're here already, and they're in people's homes.
Yeah, they're in people's homes, and so it would seem that the best place to store them is in a storage facility. But then we saw what happened over the weekend, as many as 300 bikes that were in that storage facility in Sunset Park. Well, what was the cause there?
So the cause was the e-bikes. I would say, it shows what the dangers are, right? Because this was a facility where we had taken bikes from other places that they were being stored. Luckily, it's not in the first story of a multi-dwelling. So that's a good thing. In that way, the sprinklers did put the fire out. So luckily, there were no injuries. It just shows how dangerous this can be and how complicated it can be, that even where people aren't living, you're seeing these bikes still cause a fire.
You're told not to store the bike in your apartment. So then you go store it in a storage facility, and it's still causing issues there. And I guess when you look at it, because you've really tackled this from all angles, right? You're going after the illegal batteries, trying to get the word out about them, how to properly charge. Could the manufacturers be held responsible at this point for faulty batteries? I think they should be, and I think, as you're sort of pointing out, this is really complicated. And I think sometimes when I'm talking to New Yorkers, they feel like, what is it that I can do? It just feels like this is constantly an issue. And I would say, one, it is on the manufacturers. People, for the most part, either don't know these are unsafe, or they're depending on them for their livelihood, and so they're making an impossible choice. Or do they know they're unsafe, right? But and as with anything, you buy what is the cheapest or what you can afford. Exactly. You click add to cart on Amazon for the cheapest device, like we all do, frankly, and you just assume that that's going to be safe and it's something you can afford, and so you sort of hope for the best. So that's why I'd really say, I think it's on the manufacturers. I don't know if you saw the letter we sent to Amazon earlier this week, and we're going to keep doing more of that. It's really on them. When you see these deaths happening, they are preventable, and all these laws we're passing are going to do that in the long term. But right now, manufacturers can do something. They can pull these off their shelves and off their sites.
In their conversation with Amazon, what was their response to it?
So they have not responded yet. So I certainly hope that they will.
Wow, and that's the scary part. Like you said, it's so easy to just click, but you don't know what you're getting.
Yeah, you don't know what you're getting, and I think we do assume things are safe when they're sold on those sites.
Is there something you can do? And now this is maybe a long shot, right? But I know you guys do the program to give out smoke detectors, right? And those are free. Is there a partnership to have to get people to turn in their batteries, to give them ones that are safe at no cost?
So there is. That's something that the mayor's office has put together. You know, what I would say is I also think that the delivery apps have to play a much larger role here. It is both very expensive to exchange these bikes. So even though it's something we've done, in order to actually exchange every bike that's out there, it's going to require a lot more funding. But also they have access to their delivery workers that we as a city don't have. We don't necessarily know who everybody is who's driving. And I think that that's essential, especially if you're talking about what can we do now, even as regulation is going to take effect through the legislative process. It would be for the apps to start, you know, taking the responsibility that they've created this economy that makes it so that people need these bikes to have a living.
In the meantime, has the FDNY increased inspections?
We have. You know, we've done quite a bit of it, but I think as you've seen, I'd call this a sticky problem, especially for those who are dependent on this as a livelihood. We often see that this pops back up even in a place that we've inspected, and that's how we know, you know, people are, and I've actually talked to some of the delivery workers who've said, I do know how dangerous it is. I'm trying to take whatever steps I can, but I need this bike. To, you know, they're making a sort of impossible choice, and that really shouldn't be the case. There are ways to fix that in the short term.
Yeah. All right. Keep us posted on your efforts. I know you're
Absolutely.
laser focused on it, but thank you for coming in this morning to talk about it, Commissioner.